Welcome to Lykken on Lending, the podcast that dives deep into the heart of the mortgage industry. Your host, David Lykken, bringing you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. Whether you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, this show is your go-to source for all things mortgage. Let's get started. This is Lykken on Lending. Now your host, David Lykken.
Folks, I'm really excited to introduce to you a new friend that Pavan Agrawal introduced to me to. It's Shanda Sumter, and she has a company called Heartcore Business. She's been very successful. I mean, mega successful, and her husband as well. And I'm so excited to get into this. Shanda is a business strategist, a marketer, and online brand expert who generated over $100 million in sales in less than 2 years within just one of her companies. For more than 20 years, she has built businesses across industries, including real estate, coaching, live events, nightlife. I mean, she has the most diverse background, and she has so much energy. And the best part is she just had a baby later in life. So don't get into this, I'm too old. She doesn't accept that. I don't either. Her background includes selling real estate to international investor groups, to creating marketing strategy to help rev a falling nightclub, to building multiple 8-figure coaching brands online. She has become known for her ability to identify what makes people buy, engage, and move quickly in changing markets. Beyond her business, Shanda is a mother who became pregnant at 49 years old after an 8-year journey to have her second child, a reflection of resilience and persistence and faith that define both her life and her work. Shanda, so good to have you with us. Thank you for taking time to join me on this podcast interview.
I'm excited to be here, David.
Yeah, as we said in the intro, we give a shout out to Pavan who made this all possible, because you have just got such an amazing story. He's telling me about you, and we actually did the what he presented to your group in your home there in Dorado, Puerto Rico. He did as a separate podcast just recently, and it's received a tremendous number of downloads. So I don't know if it's you just inspiring, but it's really exciting to have you here today. And what's really interesting is you come from a real estate world, working in international investor groups. How did that experience shape you, especially your personal view about branding?
So first of all, I'm an accidental entrepreneur, just like I was an accidental real estate person. So I feel like I'd love to have this amazing story of how I had vision and went into it, but that's not what happened. And I would just say that when I went into real estate, I realized I started working with personality types, people who had memberships, like real estate memberships. And when somebody invests to be a part of a membership, they're a higher quality commitment, I guess you could say. And what I realized is that when I was trying to sell real estate on my own and work the bullpen at the real estate company and figure out how to make it work, it wasn't the same because I didn't have a name. When I went to the real estate investor groups, they had a name and they had an audience of people that trusted them and were willing to pay something to be with them. And so sales went from like putt, 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 putt to a hockey puck.
Wow.
Does that answer the question? It's like,
yeah, I think that's why I'm so interested. I was just listening to a video just before we got on here today while having lunch, and I was listening about the importance of the brand, and I can't wait in it because you are a brand expert. How many followers do you have again? I mean, it's amazing. Your audience is ridiculously huge.
Yeah, we have a lot. Hundreds of thousands of people on our list. We have millions of people who follow us, but I know that I've coached over 20 million people at this point, but we go and we clean. We clean our followers lists and we clean our email lists so that as we're evolving our messaging, which is our value system, certain people don't align with that. So I think now more than ever, I love that you were listening to a message around personal brand, because now more than ever, I think it's the thing that will literally secure your future.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the safest thing you could do right now.
Yeah, you said in today's economy, building a personal brand, it may be one of the safest moves. It's an interesting word, safest moves a person can make and building financial security. I 100% agree with that, but could you explain to our audience what do you mean by building it? It's the safest way to build it.
Yeah. So, okay. I think the best way to explain this is there's a lot of smart people in the world and they don't all agree. And so I'm not really sure 100% on what the future holds with AI. You know, our friend Pavan's in AI significantly, but like I just sat with another extremely smart person that felt all these people that Pavan thinks their worlds are going to change. This other person doesn't think their worlds are going to change. And so my point is that I don't really have a crystal ball on what it looks like or how quickly AI is moving. But what I do know is like things like education are going free. The free line's moving. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so,
yes, it does.
So there's a percentage of people in the world that are great leaders and they were anointed to create markets. And those people are going to. And then there's a lot of people in the middle that it's kind of like, you know, in real estate, there's the guys who always win. They're always winning. Doesn't matter what happens, up market, down market. They're always
what the market's doing, the economy's doing. They just find a way to be at the top all the time.
All the time. And so that person, that leader is still in the market. And so for everyone, if everybody thought, you know, the only way you're successful in the world, like you have so many people listen to this podcast, right? It's like, that's an audience of loyal people who know you. So when things shift, it's like having that connection. Connection is currency. So having that connection with a group of people is critically important. And even more so, the group of people that have a strong value system. Does that make sense? Connected to you.
I love to get into value, but I first want to go on something you just touched on, which is really interesting. Is a lot of people are using AI to generate content, but you teach something very different. What's the difference between letting AI create your voice versus letting AI amplify your voice?
Yeah, so I don't go to AI and ask it to write my scripts. And in fact, it's being called right now AI slop online. Like that's the current term for this now.
I'm just reading a document like that right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of people, so first know AI gives you a high advantage of speed,
Yes.
but people who are still trying to sit in this confused state, as the Bible calls it, the double-mindedness, that confused state, you can't go to an AI and ask it to write for you. It's just not as smart or create videos for you or any of that. So what I do is I have an AI twin. And by the way, you'd all not know the difference at all, right? And maybe the ones 3 months ago, you'd know the difference, but there's no way.
Today, it's imperceptible.
My husband cannot tell. He cannot tell the difference. My 11-year-old is like, that's you, mom. That's the AI twin. I'm like, nope. You know what I mean? Like it's what they can't even tell. And so my point is that I use an AI twin. I put my voice over top of it. I put my positioning over top of it. I use things like Sandcastle to take my opinion, the thing that you're told to shut down when you're a little kid. Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about religion. Don't do anything at the Thanksgiving dinner table, right? And it's like, but that's the stuff that makes you money. So I bring
yourself too. It's really the thing that people will connect to because you're so vanilla. Otherwise, when you're talking about amplifying your voice, it's really almost like amplifying your values. That thing that is unique to yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. But then I go to something like Sandcastle.ai and I get off my high horse of I've done this forever. And I go to Sandcastle.ai and I look at my point of view on this AI technology, and very different from ChatGPT or any of the other. Every AI has a different brain, I guess I would say it. Like it's got a different specialty. And so Sandcastle.ai will give me all the outlier. So the people that are using that, people have the same value system, same point of view as I do. I'm going to see their hooks, and those hooks are called outliers. And it doesn't matter what I think about it. If I use those hooks in the front of my videos or my reels online or my emails to my email list, that produces eyeballs on my content. Does that make sense? So that's been a huge
change. It does. It really does. Which ties in beautifully to the next question, what you're talking about here. You really believe strongly it's important to stand for something as well as standing against something. In other words, have an opinion. Don't try to be this middle of the road, wishy-washy stuff. Why do you believe politically polite
online actually hurts someone's growth and traction. That was a curious statement when I heard you say that.
Yeah, because your haters will build your brand.
Your haters will build your brand. I love it.
Yeah, your haters will build your brand. So think about it. The things you talk about in quiet, pillow talk with the person you love, right? Those, a lot of times people are afraid to talk about that online, but believe it or not, that's actually the trusted person that will actually talk about that online. And what happens is you organically have people that don't agree with you. When you're Switzerland in the way that you talk, when you're being politically polite, then it's like everybody agrees with you. That's boring, right? Like, they can get that through a Google search, a YouTube search.
It's really a good point. That is such a good point.
Yeah, you gotta disrupt. In disruption moments like now, this is where personal brands, this is where businesses like launch. This is the most amount of millionaires, billionaires. This is when it happens.
And you had this as a personal epiphany. You're a woman of faith. We're both people of faith. We both have a strong faith. And a lot of people shy away from that or their liberal or political views. You don't shy away. In fact, you made a purpose pivot where you said, I'm going to amplify not only my voice, or how I'm going to amplify my voice by amplifying what something some would consider too controversial, like your faith. I love that.
So I am Christian. I read the Word of God all the time, and I used to hide that. And so I say things that are polarizing, things like, and by the way, I'm a people pleaser by nature, so it's not like it's easy. Okay,
you and I have that in common.
Yeah, I want to get along with everyone, like that. But I also, the cost of not being honest is the cost of struggle. And so my family,
the cost of say that again. That was really important.
The cost of not being honest is the cost of struggle now. And I look at my 2 kids, my husband, the people that work for us at our company, our clients, and I'm like, you know what, Shanda? Somebody not agreeing with you, you trying to get the approval of someone who doesn't necessarily agree with your faith or your value systems. Like at the end of the day, like the cost of that is everybody going broke in my ecosystem. Do you know what I mean? Like I ground myself in that. Like people want leaders. They don't want people to just blend in and be a wallflower. So I say things like, I used to read something called A Course in Miracles, spiritual, not religious, right? And by the way, I don't not like spiritual, not religious people. I just know it's inconsistent. It has a lot of dark moments. It's all centralized on you trying to figure out how to change yourself to fit in and make things work and manipulate. And whether or not somebody's listening to this right now or not, is like, I love A Course in Miracles. I did too. But God's name is not the universe. You know what I mean? Like your name is not Tom. My name is Shanda, and it's really important to reference things. So if you found a way to sell more real estate, do better mortgages for people, whatever your craft is, if you found a way that was best and you didn't correct somebody that was going down the wrong road because you want to be liked, how honest is that? So deceptive. So I think we're in an era that we've always been in this era, but now even more so. You don't want to go in the system. You don't want the government taking care of you. You don't want that stuff. And with companies and industries pivoting, changing, some going away, you don't want to be afraid. You want to start amplifying your value systems to pull your people. So I'll give you some numbers on this. For a product I sell online, it would cost me about $250 for a free registration into my email list to attend this product. Okay. Free product online. I added the word faith to the title, and that $250 dropped down to $60.
Wow.
That's a big difference. And if anybody wanted to really go do the math, if you just go say, if I got 1,000 new prospects to come into my database, 1,000 new prospects, I spent $250. How much is that? Now take that 1,000 new prospects and put it at $60 and you'll see a massive difference in cost of acquisition.
I think there seems to be a polarization going on in the world. On this point, there's those that are moving more into, faith-based movement. There's a very strong movement that way, but we're also seeing a polarization where they're going the other way. We're seeing a dividing, which the Bible talks about in these days. We'll see a dividing. Is it true on the other side too. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say is be authentic to whatever that value is. If you're a liberal, be liberal and be not ashamed about it. Be it.
Yeah.
And I think rather than saying everyone has to go be faith-based like me, that's not what you're saying, like the two of us. You're saying be genuine. So the real message here is find out what your values are and stay true to them. You're going to find a crowd of people that agree with you.
And they will work with you because they will naturally trust.
Yeah. They're more apt to work with someone who's boldly stating where they're at is what you're saying.
Yeah. So marketing makes sales easy. The other day, I had my new little baby. I got pregnant at 49 years old.
That's so yeah. By the way, you got to tell everyone you don't look your age, but you're doing a baby at your age. So if you don't mind sharing that, that's a great story because I think it'll encourage a lot of women who've thought a childbirth has passed them.
Yeah, just so you know, Dr. Sinclair is showing right now that women in their 50s and 60s are having babies with their eggs. And they're being able to reverse that. It's not, anyway, there's a whole, but go look at Dr. Sinclair because just for longevity and anti-aging, y'all are going to have to make a lot more money than you anticipated if you plan on being alive for another 3 years because the technology of living is so good. It's not a guess or if they'll figure this out. They already know that they can extend our life significantly, which means the retirement that you thought you were going to have, you're going to need to be generating a little bit more, a lot more, which is good and scary for some people.
Well, and first thing, I love what I do, so it's not work. I mean, if you find something you're passionate about, it's really not work for those of us who really thoroughly enjoy. So I think, and when you do what you do from a place of authenticity, you're going to draw a crowd to you that's going to be of like-mindedness, and it's going to bring quality to your life, satisfaction in your life. And I think that's just so exciting. So you've said speed is the name of the game. What do you mean once you find someone's content that works? How could they scale in an authoritative way in inbound leads? Everyone's working on inbound leads. We got to have inbound leads. What are we talking about when you're talking about the speed is the name of the game?
So that goes back to the marketing scenario. So let me just share this quick story. My newborn son is crying in the living room early in the morning. In-laws are in the house. The whole house has an upstairs patio where the bedrooms go around. So it echoes, right? So a non-marketer would be consumed with the problem at hand, the baby crying. They're trying to make money. They're trying to sell their stuff. They're trying to, sales is really hard that way because you tend to wake a lot of people up, but they're mad, right? They're not enjoying the way that you are talking to them. And that's why they're not biting, right? To get speed, you have to be the type of marketer that thinks about taking the baby into the theater room where it's soundproof so that when the mother-in-law gets up, she takes care of the baby for the full day and gives you peace. You've got freedom, right? It's the difference between speed right now is the difference between instead of going out there and doing marketing just to sell your stuff, just to get what you need, you really got to think empathetically, right? There's a problem that your buyer has right now. And there's they say it. They woke up this morning and what did they talk about? That was the Achilles heel, the problem. But then there's the blind spot problem. The one that when you say it, right? And you hear them complain, you're like, that's not really your problem. This is your problem. That, by the way, is leadership and speed. The second thing you do is you just tell them, you don't give them advice. You tell them what to do right now to solve the blind spot problem. Your next piece is the offer. And people don't do that. I train this all the time. People talk about their products, their services, what they do. Nobody cares what you do. They care about how can you help them relieve a problem? It's not you talking about your product all the time. It's you talking about the emotion. People buy emotions. They don't buy products, right? And so when people get this, you start to realize the game isn't really sales. The game is attracting an audience of people, which are much easier if you're honest about if you're an atheist or you're Christian or you're Mormon or you're Catholic or you're Muslim. I don't know. These are the pieces that people have. And it could have been so much easier, but now you need speed. So speed is talk about these value systems. How does that apply to mortgages? How does that apply to real estate? It applies a lot. 95% of the people I end up just doing business with some way, somehow have some level of faith. You know what I mean?
Because you track them. Yeah. Because because you're real about it.
The ecosystems keep sharing you in the ecosystems. It's put your ladder up against a wall that is like-minded, because it is so much easier to talk to somebody that you can relate to than trying to fit into somebody's sales cycle, which is their mind, that you can't relate to or that feels like a stretch for you. It's just a game changer.
I love that statement. Put your ladder against the wall that best aligns with your values, with who you are.
Yeah.
And that really helps. One of the questions is a big fear a lot of people have, Shanda, is that AI is going to replace people or amplify the people who already have a strong voice or brand. Do you believe that?
If you want, I can actually show my screen.
Yes, do it.
I can show my screen if I could do that here. I think I can. So let me show you something really quickly. And I think this will surprise you. So my husband is going into Sprouts nationwide and 1,000 stores in total, not just Sprouts.
Yeah, we should say your husband is what got well known, was instrumental in the Monster Drink. I mean, that's where he started.
He was part of a company called AFF that they did okay, so let's see. Okay, can you see my screen?
There you go. Yes.
Okay, so this is my family going
beautiful
into
family.
Sprouts.
What a handsome husband. What beautiful kids.
See how I can see the product? I can put the product in there. Here is, let me see if I can. So here's me, guys. None of this is me.
None of this is you, really.
None of this is me.
Wow.
None of this is me.
All AI generated.
This is all AI generated. And I can flip it into, so first of all, it's as easy as this. See this bottom search bar? This is a product called Higgsfield. Higgsfield.ai.
What's it called again? Please say that again.
Higgsfield.ai. I'll give you a link to it. And I add 2 selfie pictures. They're best if they're just off your iPhone or your Android. I upload them and then I give it a prompt. So this one says, put me walking on a beach in the Caribbean in Puerto Rico, where I live, wearing this brand that I like of clothes with no hat on. Okay. And so at the very top, I did this morning. This picture is that.
Wow.
Okay. Now I can animate her as well and put her into an animation and have her literally just walk for me on the click of a button. So I won't bore you with all that stuff, but like literally.
So fascinating what you can do with it.
Yeah, but it happens in seconds. So now I have my Claude workspace set up with a prompt, and it goes right into my Higgsfield, and there's pictures of my house, and it generates content for me every single day. So I can go in there, or somebody else, but you could also put an AI to post for you as well. And if you could post 3 to 4 times a day with value product, not slop, and it's you, and you could have the best photo shoot possible, right? Then what's going to happen is you are going to draw more organic traffic to you. See, back in the day, I'm inconsistent. I don't want to post every day. Like, I'm not an online creator. I am an entrepreneur. But I'm smart enough to know 101 is you go where your people are. And so your people are on TikTok. Your people like TikTok is outselling like crazy. I mean, Instagram now has its own version of TikTok Shop happening where you can buy on Instagram. You can put links right in the video. Like my point is like, guys, we don't have to learn this stuff anymore. We just need to sit back and say, what am I willing to be honest about? And what is the problems my people are having? And what's the blind spot problem that they're not really paying attention to? And they will redirect to your bios and they will start filling out applications to work with you, and the game changes. Why do it slow anymore?
Yeah, this is really what you're starting to talk about, is there's just too many professionals that are invisible online, even though the opportunity is to be everywhere right now. And that's what I'm hearing what you're saying. And then almost create a brand around you. I'm fascinated how you help people do this.
Well, yesterday I just did a 30-minute course on how to create leads literally with your AI twin. But you guys got to remember something, like, it's not that I'm an AI expert. In fact, the whole AI world is like a ping pong ball, is it not? Like all the things coming out.
It's like watching a tennis match. You don't know
what can I put my attention on? So I only want to put my attention on things that are going to generate quality leads that become buyers. I want community. And so as this world shifts, I want community, people I can take care of, make a difference for them. So we started to just really show people how to run online campaigns. So by Friday, every Friday, you have more money in the bank. So when I did real estate, I would do, let's say, a conference call that people would send people to, and I would tell them about an investment deal, and then people would click the button below and fill out an application if they wanted that investment deal. Okay. And so now I could literally be talking about investing or about money or about the fear of investing or about when you lost a house in the past, like get over it because now's the best time to invest. I could be talking about the emotions of all of that and have the deal of the week up and just literally focus on content and not have to split commissions, not have to go beg somebody to share me with their audience. You can create your own audience. And on social now, they're showing you to non-followers. So you need to know something. I'm not a creator. I'm not some like influencer online. I don't do brand deals. I do big money. I don't do little money. I do big money. And so I want to control my audience. I want to control my audience because that's your people. I mean, the world goes around with people still and always will. So they can replace our jobs. But here's the worst case scenario. You sell an affiliate product if you get wiped out by AI, your industry. Sell an affiliate product. If you don't have an audience, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. So good. If someone listening gave the next 30 days to fully to build their own personal brand, what could realistically change in their business life and their personal life?
So I think everybody should do that.
You help people do this. I'm so excited people connect with you and helping people do that.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, you know, I never want to income claim because I've had a few friends it's unfortunate that you're not allowed to share all this stuff, right? But like I just had a woman message, I got another $15,000 client. She's like a stay-at-home mom selling a coaching product online. Like it's wild. Like, so I would do your math. Everybody do your math. What is a client worth to you? Okay. So realistically, if you are completely inconsistent, which most people are, because none of this is complicated. It just feels complicated because you haven't done it yet. But in 4 hours from now, in 2 hours from now, you can completely understand it. 4 hours from now, you can be pretty masterful at it. Like that's how much AI shortened the curve. It used to take 3 years to build a business to actually know what you're doing in any industry, right? Now it's like 3 to 4 hours. And like I have a friend who popped up an entire business for his company with AI in 4 hours. Okay. Like full on. Customer acquisition, everything, sales system, 4 hours. So I share that with you because realistically, I'd do my math. How much is a customer worth to me? If you were inconsistent, with most people will, maybe you post like a couple times a week. I would say if you fail 4 or 5 clients in the month, if you failed.
Wow. If it's possible to, what's the upper limits? You were talking about that one gal that just literally developed a business, or someone you were talking about just developed a business overnight. That's what I was listening to, that in the new economy we're heading into, it's possible with sitting with just AI, just with the tools that you have and telling your story that's unique to you, you could create a business that's going to be in the 7 digits. And it's almost right from the get-go.
Yeah. So I turned my phone off so it wouldn't ring, but there's this girl that I'm coaching right now, Katie, and she popped up an AI twin, didn't know what she was doing, came up postpartum and did $750,000. It took her, I think, 4 or 5 months. Now I'm guessing. She said it yesterday. It was 4 or 5 months. I think it was 5 months. It took her to crack the $100,000 a month revenue, and she didn't know what she was doing. But what she did know is that A, she hates posting. B, she doesn't want to do content because she is a mom of 2. And, you know, the house is a mess. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get the perfect lighting, the perfect this, you know, all of that. Where now it's like, yeah. So I think it comes down to your drive. I think that's the real answer.
That's where I want to go. It comes down to your desire to get out of a rut that you're in and do something.
And not focusing on the weeds. Like somebody just said something to me the other day. They said Elon Musk, that he knows them, sitting at a table, and the fear conversation of AI came up last week, and it was because he talked to Elon on the phone. And he said, there's one thing that's being said out there, and that's another thing that's happening behind closed doors where people are a little nervous about the power of this thing. And what my point is it comes down to the drive, because he said, you know, Elon's the best I know to follow the signal. The signal call it your calling, call it your mission, call it your 30-day goal, right? And the signal is the only thing that matters. And everything else that is important that needs to get done is drowned out. You can just focus on the signal. And so that's drive. So when people do too many things, that overwhelmed mind again goes back into the double-mindedness that we talk about in the Word of God. And I am absolutely certain that is the criminal that is stealing people's freedom, is that double-mindedness. So the overwhelmed and the frustration, all that type of stuff is a product of you are looking at too many shiny objects. And you just got to say, what's the one I'm going to go all in on? I don't know one financial advisor that says this, but I don't know one financial advisor that's rich that didn't do it this way. And that is you put all your eggs in one basket and go all in and make a boatload of money, and then you diversify. You're trying to diversify on the way up to freedom. It doesn't work, whether it's your time or your money.
Shonda, you've already touched on so many things. How can people learn more about you? And you've got all the channels. I want every one of my listeners to just get fixated on you. You've got great content. And I just want people to, that's why I'm doing this, is to help people grow and learn. And you are such a valuable resource. How can people learn more by going, where should they go to get to know you better and start taking advantage of your content?
Yeah. So you're probably going to laugh at me because I haven't used my website in like 15 years. I only use social. And so if you
only use social, you don't use your website at all.
No, because everything we do is we do a customer acquisition online. So people can join my newsletter. That is a customer acquisition. And then they would be getting a focus fix, what to focus on every single week to really focus on generating revenue. Yes, people are building businesses, but like, I don't know whose businesses will still be there in a year, 2 years, 3 years. So we focus really on getting the fluff out, look for the signal. And the signal for us and the people that follow us is revenue generating. So when I was in real estate, I literally focused on doing presentations in a group format because I knew I wasn't going to get rich selling one house at a time. So I wanted bulk buys, right? And so I would do, and by the way, no skills on doing a presentation, horrible at speaking, hated speaking, shyer than a baby walking into a room. Oh, it was awful. It was awful how I was painfully shy. But I knew I knew that I wanted to be a millionaire more than I wanted to be scared. And so I did the things you got to get in front of people. So I would say find me on Instagram. That's the one platform I'm still on where I answer all my own DMs, and it's not with my customers or client, or it's not with my team. Nobody's in there but me. So Shanda Sumter on Instagram. You find me. There's lots of fake accounts. So it's not a 1-2 star dash. It's just Shanda Sumter in one word on Instagram, and you'll find me.
That's awesome. What a great, I've binged on you when Pavan first, and advanced to getting to you on the call and first meeting you. I just love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. The most important thing is great to make great money, but what the most rewarding thing is when you're transforming someone's life by what you're doing. That's the most important thing we do. Transform lives. Shonda, thank you so much for being here. What a joy.
Yay! So good to be here. I'm glad I could contribute.
I'm glad you did. I can't wait to get down to Dorado when I'm visiting Pavan and get over and meet you and your husband in person. I'll give you a hug.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. The links that we talked about in this video or in this interview can be found on our website, and I encourage you to check them out. There's so many new tools being made available. We talked about some of them, and we want you to take advantage of them. Folks, this podcast is also made possible by First Close, Title Ease, Byte Software, Angel AI, True, Candid, Mortgage Bankers Association of America, Lenders One, Modex, Redder, Mortgage Advisory Tools, and Fuel Inc. Folks, we appreciate you being here. Tell others about this podcast and this interview. Share with others. Look forward to having you back at our next episode.
You've been listening to Lykken on Lending. Our passion is to bring you the latest insights, trends, and updates from the world of mortgages. So on this show, if you're a seasoned industry veteran or just getting started, it's your go-to source for all things mortgage. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. Take care, and we'll see you next time on Lykken on Lending.